In this video, we're going to be talking about the description of Major Arcana number 13, which is the Death card. Now, it's important right off the bat to understand that the Death card in no way really signifies the death of someone or the death of yourself physically. This is about emotional death or death on the mental level. It's about a releasing of the old way so that you can be reborn. It's about a death and rebirth from a spiritual perspective and a spiritual level. So if you've chosen this card in the tarot spread, some further general meanings can mean major transformation, a necessary and profound change, the dawning of a new era, leaving the past behind. It's about the end of one cycle and the start of a new cycle, entering a new way of life. It's about releasing the old self and empowering yourself, rebirth, transition, cleansing, purging, and stripping away things that no longer are in your highest and best interest. It's about changing status. It could mean leaving a job or relationship, or leaving a home and relocating. With this card, there's usually a lot of major internal transformation, although there can be external transformation happening as well. One of the big differences between this card and the Tower card is that usually with the Death card, you feel, know, or sense that there is some sort of transition or purging or releasing that is going on or that is taking place. Whereas with the Tower card, Major Arcana 16, there's usually a sudden and shocking change or purging or release that happens that you are unaware of, that comes on suddenly. Now, with this Death card, there's further symbology associated with different decks. So if we look at this one by the Celtic Dragon Tarot, which is by DJ Conway and Lisa Hunt, we see a dragon here, and this dragon is looking up to rays of light that is shining down upon it, almost as if it is being rebirthed. And actually we can see, if you look closely, that the scales of the dragon, and we see the tail that wraps around here, that there's some parts of the dragon that has some of the old scales and some parts of the dragon that are stripped away by these rays of light, almost like it's being purified by the light. And not all the scales are in place. So it's shedding its skin, so to speak. It's releasing an old part of itself so that a new part can be reborn. If we go to this one by the Psychic Tarot, which is by John Holland, John Holland labels this card transformation. And in this card we see an angel or fairy with wings. It's a young woman. And she seems to be having her hand here, or her hands, on an old head. It's actually a very dark looking head with an eye. And what I would gain from this card, if you receive this card in a spread, is that she wants to hang on to an old way of thinking or perceiving, but in fact she's being illuminated by the light here, as we can see her very, very clearly. And although she may be having a little bit of a difficult time with the expression on her face, not being one of the most joyous and happy nature, but she wants to cling on to this old way of thinking or believing, but in fact she's being reborn into a new way of seeing, thinking, or believing. If we look at this rendition of the Death card, which is from the Shadowscapes Tarot by Stephanie Poumonla, with this one we see a bird here, almost like it's a mythical bird on a tree branch, and standing facing the sunlight. There's a lot of rays of warm yellow sunlight that's hitting this bird as the bird looks up towards the sun in a stance of rebirthing itself. And we can actually see that rebirth taking place as we see a lot of different flowers here that are blooming from behind the bird. So we know that new growth and rebirth is happening as the bird is allowing a releasing of its old way of being. And then finally, in the Angel Tarot cards by Doreen Virtue, she labels her card Release. And in this card, Release, with Archangel Azrael, we see Archangel Azrael as he's walking down somewhat of a path here. And if we look closely, there's a structure or a couple of structures way far back in the background. And we could further divine this card as meaning that this person, this angel here, is actually walking away, releasing itself from old situations and circumstances in their life, and they're walking towards this rebirth of this field of flowers that's growing, this beauty that's ahead of them. So leaving behind the old to come into a new. And actually Archangel Raziel has this wonderful little glowing halo of light above his head, so we know that he is divinely guided through this transition and through this change. I hope you've liked this further description of the Death card. If you'd like to do a free tarot card reading for yourself, please visit us at freetarotcardreadingsonline.com. Again, that's freetarotcardreadingsonline.com.